Igbo mụ na-ege ntị ekenekwanụ m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Anyị sị n'ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, mgbede ọma site n'ebe isi wee na-esoro anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa na Eastern News 24. Anyị sị na anyị chene ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu aka ya dịrịrị. Ise dịka o si dị, anyị agbapụ na ya ọsọ wetara ya bụ ozi, nnukwu ozi eji maka ya wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa, nke anyị na-akpọ latest update. This is according to the Biafran activist, and he quotes, good news. As Northerners collapse, Israel shut down Nigerian Arab Fulani, PM Benjamin Netanyahu demand United Nations, European Union, African Union of Biafran nation as a sovereign state. Here the news in details. All right, Gabapuni also egosi na ya bụ ife nwanne anyị wetara anyị n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa, dịka anyị si kwuo nkwa na gị wetara n'update. Ị ga-esi ya bụ ife biko kaba alụ kele ya atị ife okwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Over to you, sir.
As an expression of a simple truth, Israel is coming back to Africa, and Africa is coming back to Israel. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in its potential, present and future. It is a continent on the rise. Its people are diverse and talented. I've made strengthening our relations one of our top priorities, national and international priorities of the State of Israel. It's the reason I became the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit Africa in decades. Well, one thing I can assure you, it won't be decades until an Israeli leader visits Africa again. It won't be 5 years. It'll be a few months. Africa and Israel share a natural affinity. We have, in many ways, similar histories. Your nations toiled under foreign rule. You experienced horrific wars and slaughters, and you are still fighting to get out of the past into the future valiantly, in efforts that I deeply admire. With determination and conviction, you won your independence. You healed the wounds of the past to chart a future of hope for your people. This is very much our history. Our people, too, were denied independence for far too long. Our people, too, suffered the indignity of bondage, slavery, and dispossession. Our people, too, experienced unimaginable horrors of mass death and genocide. But we never, ever gave in. We fought for our independence and won. We think that Israel now is the best partner that the countries of Africa could have, and it's something that is dear to our hearts. The founder of modern Zionism, the national movement of the Jewish people, was Theodor Herzl, and he said, after I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people. We have our African brethren, the Ethiopian Jews, who are in our society, and I personally work every few weeks to help integrate more and more and incorporate them in our society. I believe this. I believe in Africa. I believe in your future, and I believe in our partnership.
I believe that Israel still continues with this path of supporting its friends, its allies, its family. And just like we did that in 1967, Israel supports and does what it can. I did hear that Mr. Kanu was in Israel, in Jerusalem, before he was abducted and disappeared from the public's eye. And this is the most important thing that I want Biafrans to take from this discussion, that Israel, we stand with you guys. And although the cause of Biafra is not very familiar with the world and with Israelis, I want to say that, because of my activity, because of what I do, more and more Israelis are hearing about the cause of Biafra each and every day. So yes, we do stand with you. I want you to know that.
Very against the Igbo population. They had massacred them in 1967 in the Biafra War, and still there's persecution till this day. So we knew coming into Nigeria, we're not here to get involved with the politics, but we're here to tell the story of a population that many in the government experience or think of them as their enemies. So we land in
Which is getting involved in the politics.
Well, we're not here to play politics in Nigeria. We're just here to say that
no agenda.
There's connection. Yes. Yeah. Well, there are movements trying to separate the southern part of Nigeria, which is Biafra, Igbo land, and to create independence from Nigeria. So that's the politics that they fear.
Hello, good afternoon, class. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, I understand that, of course, the Israel are brothers to the Igbos, by extension to Biafrans. But we understand that Nnamdi Kanu currently is going through travail. But seeing Israelites rallying, protesting, asking Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu, asking British government to step in and ensure that their brother is released. How does it come to you?
No, it didn't come to me as a surprise anyway, because I noticed at the last 30th May Biafran Day, I will see a lot that happened in Israel. I will saw Israelis, both men and women. In fact, we saw the entire Jews, mounting, celebrating the Biafran Day, celebrating the birth of the first Jewish African state. For me, for the Israelis, for the Jews of Israel to join, to even remember that day, it tells a lot of story of the supposed alliance or the supposed synergy or the bloodline. Let me put it that way, between the Biafrans, the Igbos, of course, and of course the Jewish state. And I can see over time, I've seen aides of the Prime Minister of Israel making different statements referencing Biafra recognition, talking about Nnamdi Kanu. And a lot of people does not know the reason why Nnamdi Kanu is always being welcomed within Jerusalem and of course the Western Wall. There's a lot of things that's attached to that, and we have built a relationship to the extent that the Israeli government themselves officially has recognized Biafra, of course the Igbos, as one of the lost tribes of Israel. We have the other ones from Massa, Uganda. We have another one too from, of course, Ethiopia. We know the history, as the only nation that was not colonized. But what they're saying at this point in time, that it has become a reality where we are seeing so many Biafran lobbyists from different parts of the world, different countries, different nations, factoring the liberation of Biafra, talking about another African consciousness called Nnamdi Kanu, talking about Ibrahim Traore, talking about Nelson Mandela, but a lot of people are surprised that the Biafran recognition agenda, and of course that has been identified on several bases, even though it was being reported some time ago that the Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu has gone as far as signing a Biafran charter. So these are some of the things we want to see. And of course, the Israeli embassy, located in Biafra land, is also a factor of trust. It's also a factor of patriotism. It's also a factor of brotherhood and bloodline and recognition of an entity or a brother that can never hurt, to the extent of hurting Israel. And secondly, there is need for us, at this point in time, to continue to build synergy with the Israeli people and the Israeli government, because what we are seeing now, in just no distant time, Israel will become a super world power that America will not be able to look at and point their hands towards them, even though we know that they have a more deeper relationship in that regard. But we are seeing Israel as a nation becoming independently in terms of weapon, in terms of military production, in terms of economy, in terms of economic activities, in terms of treaty, Tanzania alone as one of the powerful nations in the world, even though we see can give it to Israel at this point in time, they are still one of the powerful nations in the world. So what you're seeing every time and now, there's this bloodline, there's this connection that anything that happens to Biafra, anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they try to get the British attention to it, and of course signal their support for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at any point in time.
Okay, let me tell you that I've seen a video recently where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself was explaining to some Israelites after Operation Python Dance, where he left Nigeria in escape for his life. He told them that he chose to come to Israel and not Britain because he feels safe. Okay, I've seen a video, Mr. Michael, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was explaining to some Israelites that he chose to come to Israel instead of UK after the Operation Python Dance that saw him run away from Nigeria. He said because he feels safer in the midst of the Israel who are his brothers.
Of course, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made it very clearly. You know, he has brought the Zionist ideology to the Biafran agenda. He has also brought the lineage of religion of the Jewish people, you know, the Orthodox Jews in Israel, in terms of, you know, the way and manner they worship. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you know, is a Judaist. You know, he believes in that concept of religion of Judaism. You know, and Judaism is where almost all the world leaders, you know, there's no world leader and there's no part of that group or forum, you know. And so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a member of, he's a Judaist, he practices Judaism, you know.
And of course he told them that he worshipped here in Israel.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at every point in time, both the way he dresses and everything, he signifies that he is a Jewish man and that he's proud to be a Jew, you know. And every point in time we are seeing the Biafras, you know, taking up solidarity, support for the plight of injustice meted against the Biafrans, against the Igbos, the extreme marginalization, and thereafter, you always see Israeli flag. If you go to Henri, let me put it that way, you know, there is, you know, an anchor of David in Henri Kingdom till tomorrow, till today. You know, if you still go there, you see it.
Now let me go ask this question. What informed and influenced the Star of David on the map of, on the flag of Biafra?
No, the fact is that, you know, that is the source, that is where we are coming from, you know, and it has been proven over the years that that is where we are coming from, you know, and that is what we are. If it is not where we are coming from, how come the ancient people that were able, you know, to relocate, to migrate from Middle East or Africa at that time? But remember, where you are calling Middle East, that now, what was it called before? Where we are calling Middle East now, what was it called before? Go and find out yourself what it was called before, and know actually who are the ancient black Hebrews. Then that will give you a signal that if those people did not come from that, there's no need. Ancient people, 7,000 BCE, they are still maintaining their source without anybody telling them. So it tells you that that is their source, and that is where they come from. I don't think there's any tribe in Africa. Yes, I can tell you, because when I visited in the kingdom, you know, I discovered it, and I asked questions. Find out whether there is any tribe, black tribe in Africa, where you go to a particular location and you discover similarities of the ancient Jewish kingdom.
Maybe I should go ask you this question. The Obi of Owa, that is the community where Okowa comes from, said recently that his kingship, his people migrated from Uri in Anambra City.
Okay, that is it. You see, it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this construction of wickedness by the British government, to make sure that anything that has to do with Africa is fragmented. Look at Macron now threatening the whole of Africa because of Roman Traore. Now they will not allow Africa to even have a military, a force, that will not happen under the Western watch. So what does that tell you? It tells you a lot of things, that these people sat somewhere in Berlin and shared Africa. So it tells a lot of things was balkanized, a lot of things was destroyed, a lot of stories was killed, a lot of genealogy, so many things that could have defined the identity of the people were virtually destroyed by the version of the British colonial masters at that time. And it tells you that, when I said it very clearly before, that Igala is an offshoot of Idu that gave birth to Godomigodo is from the same village. But they will not tell you that the Bini is just a minor tribe, just like Ibanke, in the entire Edo state. That the Asian people too are questionable. Then if you look at that Idu, as at that time, before it became Igodomigodo, from Igodomigodo it become the so-called Edo state we are talking about today, or whatever we are talking about today. God, look at the tribe that make up the Benin tribe. Who are they? Ask questions, you still discover the truth. So the man from Okowa's local government, who is saying that the king, the Biafra, who is saying that they came from the kingdom, and he's just being very honest to himself. So that's the picture. That's what it is. And these histories have been there. Okay, now let me ask you, how come the Portuguese, the first explorers that set their foot on this part of the world, when there was no West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, bros, even Middle East, I said it before, and go and cross-check, this Middle East is I'm talking about today. What was the name of that Middle East before it was called Middle East? You can go and find out yourself. So what I'm saying at this point is that it came to that point where the Portuguese themselves said, do you know where the boundary of Biafra?